the opening message. That's what we are doing, sending out our love, and it returns to us 1,000-fold. Welcome to Unity of London, all you who are here. For anybody who's here for the first time, a very special, warm welcome. Please feel free to ask if you're not sure where anything is. And I'll tell you right now, the prayer room, my favorite room in the whole building, is through the fellowship room up the orange stairs. And today, our prayer chaplain in person will be Dawn Briglio. She's sitting right there with red hair beside Gary, waving her hand. And if you want to pray with her following the service, it's confidential, it's short, and it's based on her prayer of affirmation and release. So thanks, Dawn. Welcome to those who are joining us online. And I'd like to hear your applause. Welcome back to Lorraine Rynan, who's back there. Yay, Lorraine. And to Chris, who's back with her. We have a vision at Unity of London, and it's a vision shared by Unities all over the world. And our vision is a world that's powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And a vision is nothing without action. So our mission follows that, co-creating with spirit to transform lives through shared spiritual awakening. How do we do that? Well, we are aware that sometimes we feel separate from each other. Sometimes we're not as connected with other people. And what causes that? There are 3 areas that cause us to be separate. Our egos, we know what that's all about. Our beliefs and our fears separate us. By being a loving, inclusive person, we bridge those differences and we remember that, in fact, we are all one. Self-expression springs from self-love. It's not the vain love where you look in the mirror and say, oh, I look so great today, or maybe not. That's not that self-love. It's appreciating who we are as individuals, appreciating our uniqueness, our specialness, and our divine connection. And out of that springs the opportunity to express with other people. We have 5 principles at Unity of London. We believe that divine presence is within us, everywhere we are, 24 hours a day. That is God within. We believe that we are presence in this world. We create our own lives. We create love and positive energy by our choices. We pray, and our unity prayer is based on affirmation, what we believe to be true, what we want to be true, and letting go of what stands in our way. And we live it. We live the mission, and we live the vision by expressing love. Be the change. And being the change means inspiring others to make a positive difference by how we are. It's not saying, you do that, you do that, you do that, and I'll sit back and watch. That's not what it's all about. It's being involved. The power to coexist with people of all different ages, different nationalities, different faiths, different beliefs. We don't say we're the one and only. We don't bar people because they look different or speak differently or have different faiths. That door is welcoming and open to all. And we provide opportunities to grow. There are special announcements today. Thanks to Lorraine for giving us these announcements. First online will be Wilda, who's back from her trip. She came back from Brazil. So if you want to pray with Wilda online. Now, I've put down Sylvia in person, but Sylvia's not here. So that will be pretty difficult. It will be Dawn in person today. Our condo lottery, thanks to the generosity of Lorraine and Chris, the draw is still open. You can still purchase tickets up until May 7th, I believe. You have a chance for 1 week in Grand Bend on the riverfront, access to 2 kayaks. That's the most exciting, I think. And the rest, all the other amenities of a modern cottage. Plus, yes? Somebody's shaking her head. Teresa, are all the tickets sold? No. Okay. I think Dawn was maybe. Anyway, I'm glad they're not all sold. You can still buy a ticket if you want. $25. $25 or 3 for $50. And the money goes toward our music program. You also have a chance to win $500 along with that. And Teresa, the lady sitting with the tall man and the beautiful blonde hair behind Scott, will be out in the lobby selling the tickets. Our spring project, Earth Day, had to be postponed yesterday because of a lot of rain. You might notice, and I'd like you to pay attention if you are driving up from Adelaide Street, that there is a big grassy area on the east side of our building. It's right under our Unity of London sign. And it wouldn't hurt to pick up little bits of garbage that seem to clutter there. So that was done yesterday. So a lot of that garbage is now gone, but it can accumulate and we could just do it. We don't have to wait for Earth Day. However, next Saturday, April 29th, if you meet here at 9:30 in the morning, Lorraine will be here and many of us will be here. And groups will be formed, supplies provided, and we'll be cleaning up all of our area. This is our give back to our community. Yes, it is the same day as the drumming workshop. So the drumming workshop is in the afternoon. That begins at 1:30. And there is a sign-up sheet still in the fellowship room. That will be a lot of fun, a lot of excitement. Paul has put a lot of work into this, aided and abetted by Mary Ann. And so the drumming workshop, the singing, sharing poetry, $10 at the door. Half of that will go to Sheila Harrell, our drummer. And now we're ready for a song.
No matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, here's a place where you can take comfort in the knowing that whether if you come to stay a while or just passing through, this door is open to you. Come and let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come, love and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. The God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you. If there's some kind of trouble or pain you're going through, know that you are not alone. and someone cares for you. As an individualization of divine point of view, this door is open to you. This door is open. This door right here is open for you. This door is open to you. This door is open. I'm talking about this door. This door is open. I said this door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. The God in you. Whether you're black or white or gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you.
Let's spread the message that the door is open. If you have friends or family members and they're a little bit hesitant, remind them the door is open, no matter who they are. We have a prayer chest on the table in front of me. This is for you to write the name of anybody you want to hold in prayer. All you need is the first name, and Dawn is now the caretaker of that chest. So she will take all the names out, send it to our prayer chaplains. That name will be prayed over for 1 month and then sent on to Silent Unity. In the meantime, if you want to pray, if you have something on your mind, you just want somebody to listen, you can call 1-800-NOW-PRAY 24 hours a day. And they've been doing this for more than 100 years. And speaking of prayer, let us now go into prayer. I invite you to close your eyes if that feels all right. Just to ground yourself, to breathe in the atmosphere in this room, an atmosphere of love and faith, of openness. And as we breathe that in, we breathe out any distress or discomfort we may have felt during the week, any pain we may have felt, any anxiety. We absorb everything that we need, the knowledge that everything we need is within us, our spiritual strength, our positive energy. We affirm today the well-being of anyone who's lost a dear friend or family member in the last week or the last year. We affirm the courage and strength of all those who are in war-torn countries, all those who are refugees within our own city, those who are homeless, hungry, helpless, and friendless. We affirm our opportunities to reach out with love and generosity to all of those people. I invite you to whisper the names of anyone you want to hold in prayer right now. We also hold in prayer this month, and it's kind of nice to know that unities all over Canada are holding Unity of London in prayer, as well as Unity of New Westminster in BC. We affirm our opportunity to be spiritually uplifted with choice, our choice, to be connected with divine presence within. to recognize and transform our lives through accessing all of our abilities. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. It's a delight for me to welcome our platform assistant, member of our Unity of London board, Renee Sawa.
Good morning, everyone. Today's daily word is pray for others. As I pray, I affirm the activity of God in your life and mine. I am honored by the trust of those who ask me to pray with them. Whatever I am asked to pray about, my responsibility is always the same: to recognize all qualities of God are active, even the most challenging circumstances. I remain steadfast, affirming this truth. If I have been asked to pray for healing, I release all thought of illness. I affirm divine life is active in every cell. I see harmony and perfect function restored. If I am praying for abundance, I entertain no thought of lack. I affirm divine wisdom, love, and understanding, guiding the one with whom I pray to make wise, prosperous choices. As I affirm truth for all who have asked for prayer, my awareness of God's activity in my life increases also. Beloved, I pray that all may go well with you and that you may be in good health, just as it is well with your soul. 3 John 1, verse 2. Our guest speaker is a lifelong student and teacher of spirituality, metaphysics, and abundance manifestation. He is an experienced mentor, speaker, trainer, and author of Using the Law of Attraction. Tony has been an active member of Unity of London since 2012 and is a past president of the board of directors. With his message, Conversation at the Bus Stop, please join me in welcoming Tony Orvidas.
Thank you, Renee. Can you hear me okay? Oops. Got a couple of little books here I want to refer to. Okay, so good morning, Unity of London. As you can tell, the message for today is, it's me, the bus stop conversation. I'll be speaking to you today and in a couple of future messages about subjects like the pre-existence of the soul, about our choosing our lifetimes, about walk-ins, soul agreements, the veil of forgetfulness. I'll also very briefly touch on the topic of reincarnation, since it's very closely related to the theme of my talks, my series of talks on your soul's embodiment, about your soul's taking on your current physical form. This morning, I'll also talk to you about your creating the life that you now live, about the fact that there is no victimhood. And so I'm asking you to open your mind, stretch your belief muscles, leave the rest if you don't like it, just take what you need, and maybe saving the rest for another time. You might find, some of you, that it's naive, negative, or just plain offensive, so just relax and go with the flow. Reverend Elizabeth Mora, in her article, I Let Go of Outdated Beliefs, in the Unity book, 40 Days of Letting Go, tells us that it's so easy to be on autopilot. Yet the truth is that it's normal and healthy to outgrow beliefs that once served us. They worked for a time, and our life now calls for something new. It's the creative flow of the universe at work. She further tells us, periodically we can evaluate whether it's time to make changes in our lives, moving us from old ideas to welcome something new. Or as the great sage Yoda tells us, many of the truths that we cling to depend on our point of view. Now, for a few of you, the content of this series of messages will be quite new and perhaps somewhat disturbing, while for others, it's merely a refresher or a reaffirmation of what you already know and believe. Remember Unity's principles? Okay, Pauline addressed them earlier in the service. Principle number 3 reads, we are co-creators with God, creating reality through thoughts held in mind. That means we co-create the life that we now live. And the creation of this life of ours began even before we came to this earthly plane, since our true essence pre-existed. Now, according to his definition, pre-existence, before life or pre-mortal existence, is the phenomenon whereby each individual human soul exists before mortal conception, and at some point, before or at birth, enters or is placed in the body. It exists before it puts on its earth suit. Plato, the famous ancient Greek philosopher, believed in the pre-existence of the soul, which tied in with his innatism, the doctrine that the mind is born with innate ideas and beliefs, instead of being just a tabula rasa, a blank slate. He thought that we are born with knowledge from a previous life that is subdued at birth and must be relearned. He saw all attainment of knowledge not as acquiring new information, but as remembering previously known information. The Essenes, a mystic Jewish sect that predated Jesus of Nazareth, they acknowledged this pre-existence of souls, and this view was supported by the Gnostics in the 1st century AD, who claimed that spirit is superior to matter, and that the soul pre-existed and was only temporarily imprisoned in the body during the lifetime. Now, in Christianity, the concept of pre-existence was advanced by Origen, a 2nd and 3rd century church father. He believed that each human soul was created by God at some time prior to conception. Now, the Christian church, the organized church, rejected as a doctrine this whole idea of pre-existence, as well as the concept of reincarnation. But it was a belief held by many early church fathers, church and Christian theologians. And in those beliefs involving reincarnation, the soul was seen as immortal, while the only thing that was perishable was the body. Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity and Keep a True Lent, wrote, from the standpoint of creative mind, it is plain that re-embodiment serves a purpose in affording opportunities for spiritual development. All that is gained in spiritual growth in one's life experience becomes part of the individual's real identity. Now, there is a downside to believing in re-embodiment. My health insurance company refused to pay me for the health service that I received because they found out that I believe in reincarnation. They said it was because I have a pre-existing condition. Ta-da! Okay, back to our bus stop. Ever sat or stood waiting for a bus at a bus stop? Some of us have done so a lot more than others. Bonnie, my wife, and I waited at a trolley bus stop in Toronto just a few months ago. We were on our way to and from an amazing Isaac Perlman concert at the Thompson Hall, Roy Thompson Hall. And standing at these bus stops and then going for a trolley ride was a very interesting and exciting experience. I hadn't done it for years. Now, I recall when I was still living in London, we're in Port Stanley now, years ago, my youngest daughter was once again residing with us while attending Western and completing her practicum for Teachers College. She needed a car to get to her rural school assignment, so I agreed to let her use my vehicle. I naively volunteered to take the bus to work and back. In the middle of the winter, in the cold, the snow, the slush, wearing a pair of leather boots which had sprung a leak. Not my favorite memory, but what we do for our kids, eh? Anyway, today we're talking about a cosmic bus stop. And I should tell you, a lot of the information for my message today was taken from the book, The Energy Codes, the 7-step system to awaken your spirit, heal your body, and live your best life. I highly recommend it. I first heard about the book while reading Unity magazine. The author of the book, Dr. Sue Mortimer, is a regular contributor to that particular periodical. She's an international speaker, doctor of chiropractic, a master of bioenergetic medicine, and a quantum field revolutionary and visionary. She's a great storyteller, and she has a really neat sense of humor. So let's get ready to take a trip to the cosmic bus stop. We'll be reading an excerpt from Dr. Sue's book. It's called, you guessed it, The Bus Stop Conversation. Here we go. Imagine yourself at a cosmic bus stop where you and others pause between trips to the physical plane. And as you wait, you get to chatting with the other souls at the bus stop, talking about your plans and agendas for life on Earth. You speak about what you desire to learn, how you wish to grow, what you'd like to experience as a means of revealing to yourself your own true divine nature as a being of energy and the creator of your own life. I want to learn about wisdom, one of the other souls says. I'm going to learn courage, declares another. I want to experience being unconditionally loving, says a third. What are you going there to do? Someone asks you. Well, you might say, I'm going to have a bunch of experiences of waking myself up. I want to know my ability to forgive. Yes, I'm choosing a level 10 experience of forgiveness, not just a level 3 or level 4. I'm going for it this time. A level 10 forgiveness. Wow. Okay, how are you going to do that? Another soul asks. Well, I'm not exactly sure. I suppose someone is going to have to do something that is nearly unforgivable. One of your companions asks the obvious question, what would that take? You reply, well, someone would have to do something like drink too much at happy hour, get behind the wheel, cross the center on the road, and hit my car head on. To take it over the top, they might take the lives of my family or cripple me. It could have been avoided and would have been completely irresponsible. Then, after many years of hurt and anger and suffering, even more because of my unforgiveness, I will reach way down inside my heart and find a deeper layer of myself than I would ever have known under any other set of circumstances and forgive them. You pause for a moment, remembering that the bus stop offers an opportunity to enlist others to help you achieve what you want out of your earth life. Who wants to be the driver for me? No one raises a hand. Come on, you plead. I've waited forever to have this chance to evolve myself. I'm asking with all that I have, will someone please help me catch this opportunity? Someone finally chimes in. I'll do it. I can see how much it means to you. Plus, it will help me with my own mission of self-forgiveness. Wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm so moved that you would do that for me. Well, I guess I'll see you on Earth. And off you go, ready to take your biggest task of your being thus far. And that's the end of the story. Kind of a neat little anecdote, isn't it? What do you think? What about your last bus stop conversation? What was the purpose you chose for your current incarnation? I'll ask you to meditate on that a little later. Me? Well, I think my purpose this time around was to develop greater patience. And I believe that's why I connected with Bonnie, my wife, who had agreed prior to our embodiment this time to teach me the meaning of patience. You see, Bonnie has this unique relationship with the concept of being on time. She'll often tell me she's ready to go with me, then it would take her another 15 or 20 minutes to actually step out the front door. I'll end up sitting in the car waiting after she's told me she's ready, and I'll see, when looking in through the front window of the house, her wandering around inside the kitchen, doing something. She'll eventually come out of the house and explain that there were some important items she had to take care of, after she had previously and clearly told me she was ready to go. I've learned not to go to the car and instead wait until she's actually ready to leave, standing at the front door with her coat on. And even then, I'm not sure if she's coming out for a while, so I'll take a magazine with me to the car to read if I have to wait. It's to the point that if we must be somewhere at a particular time, I will sometimes purposely misinform her by telling her we need to be there 15 or 20 minutes earlier than we need to, so that we're there on time. Then there are the times we'll be at an event or waiting at someone's house and we're visiting, and Bonnie will say, it's time to leave. And I get up and I go get my coat. But she just continues to socialize as if she had never said a word. So now I just wait until she's up and at the front door with coat on before I even move from my seat. Patience is a virtue, isn't it? And it's taken me some 50 years to develop my current level of patience, thanks to Bonnie. And I still blow it from time to time. Maybe I'll choose to repeat my lesson next time round. Oh, and to be honest, for comic effect, I really greatly exaggerated Bonnie's tardiness. And as editor of my message, she okayed this. Now, the bus stop conversation story we read, says Dr. Sue, is the metaphor, of course, for seeing your own energy as working to dissolve the illusions that you are a separate self. You are actually quite amazing for having created exactly what you need for your desired expansion. It removes any sense of victimhood. You can start to look at your life in a different way. You can start asking yourself some very important questions. Okay, I'm not just making the best of this bad situation, so what if I actually generated the situation to awaken myself to something more about who I truly am? What if on some higher level, I requested this experience so that I could explore a beautiful, powerful, and magnificent part of me that I wasn't aware of before? What an incredibly freeing and empowering insight, eh? Now, seeing yourself as a creator and stepping into your true nature as the soulful self doesn't mean that what happens to you won't be difficult or that you won't experience some painful emotions over it. When you see your life from the perspective and recognize how you are being served by what has happened in it, you discover that you don't need to engage in unnecessary suffering on top of the pain. You no longer take what happened to you personally and for it to mean something negative or limiting about yourself, your world, or others. Simply choosing to believe in the bus stop conversation helps you put your own experiences, both painful and joyous, in the most empowering context possible and frees you to move ahead in the most positive way. Dr. Seuss, one of my favorite writers, said, as I look back at my whole life from the current place of integration, I can see the different perspectives from which I have lived my life. From this new place, I know I see I no longer am controlled by the outer world bringing experiences to me. It's now obvious that the experiences of my life have all come through me and ultimately from me and for my own benefit. It's obvious to me that I put them there to lead the smaller, separate me to the discovery of my own magnificent, greater creator, myself. Wow, who knew, eh? About Dr. Seuss. Let's look further at what Dr. Sue Mortimer tells us. When we can forgive our perpetrators because we know that they played a role in our ultimate liberation and expansion, and that we, as our life's creators, requested our relationships with them at the bus stop, we're viewing life from a higher perspective. Nothing can occur that is larger than you. For you are the universe. It's important to recognize that requests at the cosmic bus stop are generated without specificity. We can't know exact details of how the opportunity we seek will manifest itself. As pure awareness, we will always be provided with what we need to grow in the way that we intended when we came here. And nearly always, it will be something that we would not seemingly consciously choose. People do not ask for or create abuse. Rather, they ask for or create the opportunity for an experience and for discovering their power to love themselves and others unconditionally. Now, according to Dr. Sue, some of us have huge negative experiences such as loss, abuse, severe illness. And it's because big beings like you and me, we really take on really big projects. Big beings ask for big happenings at the bus stop because smaller life circumstances simply will not budge the business of an old soul. It takes a real challenge, something of magnitude to rock the foundations of a being who already has a lot of earthly experience under his or her belt. Until we understand the spiritual, energetic dimension of our physical life experience, we simply go about life on a superficial story route, buying into the dramas happening at the exterior surface of life, unaware of our cosmic agendas that lie underneath. We grow through friction, psychological pain, hard-learned lessons as the means of discovering who we truly are. We spend a lot of time experiencing what isn't true about ourselves in order to discover what is. Once we really get the bus stop conversation, we become empowered to work with life in an astounding new way. By recognizing that you are life's creator and consciously assuming the role, you move into a new place of power, of authority. You go from sitting in the back seat of the car or awkwardly trying to drive from the roof to being square in the driver's seat. For now, your job is to start seeing your life as being without problems to survive and react to. Instead, view any problem as a project. As energy beings, Dr. Sue tells us, we choose our physical destination at the bus stop. And we choose to come into this world in a way that's perfect for our growth. But after the bus stop, when we land here in this three-dimensional plane of existence, we don't remember who we truly are and where we came from. And that's part of the fun. I'd like to end my message for today by reading to you a little passage from A Beginner's Guide to the Universe, a neat little book by Mike Dooley. The thing that makes the darkest of times bearable is remembering that life as you know it is not reality. Earth is simply a dreamed up world where angels earn their wings. Meanwhile, somewhere back home, you're snug as a bug, peacefully sleeping in the palm of God's hand, surrounded by ancient friends who can't wait for you to awaken and tell the stories of who and where you thought you were. And once everybody has had their turn, you'll all look at each other mischievously and whisper all at the same time, "Let's go back." So learn more about preexistence and embodiment in next month's installment. Let us now go into meditation. Sit back, relax and get comfortable. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale slowly. Take just a moment to turn off the noise in your head and the activity around you. Relax. Take another deep breath in and then let it go. Now, spend a few minutes quietly contemplating your bus stop conversation and discerning your life purpose this time round. Gradually come back to your world of sensory delights, secure in the knowledge that all is as it should be, as you co-created it. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you so much, Tony. On behalf of everyone here and those online, we thank you for your depth of research I personally love the reference to Dr. Seuss. It says something about me, I guess. But also your practical, down-to-earth advice. And any of us who've waited at bus stops, literal bus stops, know that it's a wonderful analogy for our lives. Thank you very much for sharing. We look forward to the next installment. Thanks, Tony. A song by our wonderful Daniel Namath. Please join in the singing.
Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Here we go now. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. I'm not holding it in anymore. I'm gonna shout it out loud. I understand now what I'm here for and what this life is about. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand. About lending a hand. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. There's a voice that I've heard for years. I learned to keep it inside. Well, now it's coming in loud and clear. I want a deeper life. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand. About lending a hand. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. All right now, swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing
Thanks to Lorraine, who's put up a new slide for our gathering of our tithes, most appropriate for our season. At Unity, we tithe as a way of showing our involvement with our community. It can be financial, it can be sharing your time, your abilities, just your presence with us. And we are always grateful for anyone who donates. You can also donate through Unity of London at hotmail.com. As Renee is collecting tithes right now, I invite you to join us in our blessing. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And please join. The light of God surrounds me. I am the light. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love. The power of God protects me. I am the power. The presence of God watches over me. I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. The Special Unity of London. Whoops. Yay, God. And now our peace song, and we have a tradition here that we all join hands for this. And there may be people online. So if you wanted to stay and share with people online, or just come up and share a message with Tony, please come up. Also, the fellowship is there. So if you wanted to go straight to fellowship, that's okay too.